Thanks for joining me here for Marshashana Yoga. Well, it's March. We're moving in to the end of winter in New England and St. Patrick's Day. And this year I'll be celebrating that a little more because I have my DNA analyzed and I'm actually 9% Irish. So I can celebrate a little more this year. But today, I'm going to talk about a subject that I had not originally intended to talk about. I was going to pick a lighter subject, but because of a personal experience, I'm going to talk about something more painful today: headaches, with the focus on migraines. Over 25 years ago, I was going to college nights and had 2 small children. I began to experience some type of visual phenomenon. It looked like little lightning-type zigzags in my peripheral vision. This experience began with light visual stuff, which got progressively more intense, peaking and then receding. This process usually took about a half hour. When I consulted with my doctor, he told me that I was experiencing the visual part of a migraine. Well, I never did get pain with those occurrences, and they did go away after just a few months. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, when I experienced the aura again. I had never related it to pain, so later in the day when I started feeling a little yucky with a low-grade headache and even a little nausea at times, I thought I was coming down with the flu. It was only after 2 days and 2 nights with a dull headache, mostly on one side of my head, I realized that I was having a migraine. In the United States, there are 38 million people that suffer from migraines. That's about 12% of the population and includes children, unfortunately. My son Sam had migraines as a young child after a head injury at his daycare center. Fortunately for Sam, those headaches resolved over time. Migraines are more common, though, in those ages 25 to 55. Heredity can also play a role. About every 10 seconds, someone shows up in an emergency room in the U.S. with head pain that is usually attributed to an acute migraine episode. Migraines are disabling, and 90% of those people will not be able to do their work or function as normal while they have the migraine. A migraine is actually a group of neurological symptoms, which sometimes includes throbbing pain, often on one side of the head, although about 1/3 include pain on both sides. These attacks can include nausea, vomiting, a hypersensitivity to light, sound, and smell, dizziness, and even numbness in the face or extremities. About 1/4 of migraine sufferers also experience visual aura, as I did. This usually lasts less than half an hour. The average attack lasts anywhere from 4 to 72 hours. Anyway, there is strong evidence that yoga can help. But there are different things to do for different types of headaches, so it's good to know which type it is. Of course, there are many kinds of headaches, but the most common is the stress-related headaches, where tension can cause tightness in the jaw, the head, and the neck. People that have these tension headaches might say that they feel a dull pain all over, like it is encircling the head. The migraine is a different animal, with the pain on one side of the head, the nausea, the hypersensitivity to stimuli, all that stuff. Sinus headaches can lead to a migraine in those who are prone to them. These kinds of headaches usually result from a cold or allergy, or sometimes the resulting infection when everything gets all blocked up. The causes of migraines are not completely understood. Believe it or not, though, one of the biggest causes of tension and migraine headaches is the overuse of pain relievers and the resulting rebound headaches. Even over-the-counter drugs can be bad if used too frequently, even as often as twice a week. it may be better to weather the storm of rebound headaches without using medication. There will be a withdrawal stage, and the headaches from this can be bad. But you can try yoga to help, along with breathing, meditation, and in a clinical setting with biofeedback, which actually just involves a focus on the breath. Is very much similar to yoga in that way. And when you are seeking medical help for headaches, try to give an accurate description and details in order to get a correct diagnosis. Things like diet figure in. If I eat something with a lot of preservatives or chemicals like MSG, especially before bed, I will most likely get a headache. In addition, exercise or the lack of and stress levels can have an effect. The breath work and asanas bring much needed relaxation in a world gone mad. I think, though, most importantly, is the way that yoga, after practicing it with some dedication, changes how you react to life's maddening situations. That's the thing, it's how you react. It's about developing this equanimity in the face of life's dualities, its inevitable ups and downs. This alone has been life-changing for me. And how many headaches would you avoid with a different outlook? Just the awareness and adjustment of the posture can bring relief for some. It may be that a person is holding his or her head too far forward of the spine. In doing the asanas, we begin to observe such things, and most importantly, correct them. A little more observation within may also show that you are holding your neck in a stressful manner, talking on the phone without your hands, or doing work where you are leaning one way or the other. By going inward, too, it may help, in the case of migraines, to notice them coming before the pain comes. Also, by practicing pratyahara, that practice of turning the senses inward, it can help to withdraw from the stimuli that can make a migraine worse. And note, too, that it is usually quiet and dim in a yoga studio, which is therefore conducive to calming some headaches down. Again, as we become more mindful, we also notice the things that might be triggering headaches. So notice things like lack of sleep, lights, air pollution, menopause, perfumes, missed meals, always gives me a headache, smoke, etc. Certain foods are pretty well known for bringing on a migraine, and those include alcohol, food with sulfites or MSG, artificial sweeteners, freshly baked bread, bummer, dairy products, citrus fruits, beans, eggs, seeds and nuts, bananas, apples, and chocolate. Eating plant-based foods is always good, and adding more magnesium to the diet may also help. As I've said many times too, with the continued and regular practice of yoga, a person cannot help but become more compassionate and patient. That means slower to react and less likely to become angry and less likely to get a headache as a result of that tension. Although it is thought that a well-rounded yoga practice is good for those with migraines, it is also wise to listen to your body and adjust your practice to the way you are feeling. Sometimes restorative poses are best, and I will show you some of those during our session. So now, my friends, we will move to the mat. So we begin here by drawing our attention to the breath. We follow the breath on the inhalation as it enters the body, and on the exhalation as it exits the body. We know that the breath is the first thing we experience upon birth and the last that we experience before death. We allow our concerns now to drift away, just allowing the mind to settle. We know that the mind is like a monkey. In yoga, we refer to it as the monkey mind because it is so very, very busy. In yoga, we attempt to still and quiet the mind. And we do that via the breath. Notice the inhalation. And the exhalation. Let us begin to deepen that breath, filling the belly, moving up into the ribs, all the way to the top. And just pausing that kumbhaka, that few seconds of retention, and then exhaling, letting go at the chest, the ribs, the belly. And just returning now to the natural rhythm of your breath. So when we talk about the migraines, I mentioned that there were some restorative poses that were very, very good. In this position of Supta Baddha Konasana, or bound angle, this is an excellent position for migraine. We rest and relax into the posture. You'll notice that on the bolster comes just around the bottom of the lower ribs there. The knees are supported. It allows the hips to open, the groin to open. Allows the chest to open as we bring the backs of the hands. We notice the shoulders move down away from the ears. So if you did have a migraine or a headache, this would be a nice position to settle into for a while. And now draw the hands up in the air and settle the shoulders. If you don't have a bolster and you're on the floor, that's fine. Or you can prepare a bolster with blankets. So just stretch the fingers wide and then make a loose fist. And then stretch them wide. And again, a loose fist. And spreading the fingers. And then bring the thumb and the index finger together and say sa, sa. And then the thumb and middle finger, ta. And then the ring finger, na. And the pinky, ma. Let's do that again a few times. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Birth, life, death, and rebirth. Extend the arms long for a moment behind you, lengthening the sides of the waist. And then bring the arms up and bring one hand to each elbow and allow that to rest. If your shoulders are giving you trouble, you can rest on the forehead too, wherever it's good for you. And take a big breath, expanding that chest area. A long exhalation. Bring the arms up, cross them the other way, and just bring that back down, letting that open. So that little Satanama thing that I just did, actually that's called the, I believe it's a Christian Kriya, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but 11, they've shown they're doing that for 11 minutes, it goes at 11-minute intervals. Actually lengthens the telomere, that part of the cell that has to do with aging. Very interesting. Bring the hands up, bring the hands down by the side, release the blocks. Extend the legs. If you're on your back, that's fine. You can do this work flat on the floor. Extend the arms, extend the legs, stretch the body. Exhale down by the sides. Bring the feet up to the floor. Just gently rock that back and forth a little. Just rocking the knees a little bit. And then come to center and just rock your head back and forth a little. We always like to warm that neck up, especially if you're getting older. You know, you'll feel it in the neck and shoulders, so try to keep that loose. And then coming up to center. And just come up and just move your bolster off to the side and your pillow, and just come down to a flat back. And as we come here, let's once again extend the arms and legs, stretching the body. Exhaling down. While you're here, we're just going to press the small of the back into the floor. So we create that pelvic tilt, and then releasing. And then again, pressing that in. So as we do that, we just warm up that lower back. Bring the feet up to the floor. We're going to do the same thing with the feet on the floor, just pressing that in and releasing. And again, pressing that in and releasing. And then draw your right knee into your chest and extend it up long and push the sole up to the ceiling. Now make sure you keep the buttock on the ground so you're not lifting way up too far. Make sure you're pushing into the interlaced fingers. Now some of you may be able to go further up, keeping your legs straight, wherever it's comfortable for you. And then bend that knee down and take your right hand to that right knee and just make a few circles with the knee. So we warm up the hip socket. And then again, that other direction. And then coming back and cross that right over the other one. Make sure your hip and knee are in a line. Draw that up and just gently rock it in and out. Now you should feel a stretch in your right hip. If you don't, then you need to open up that right thigh a little. So you want to feel it. Bring the left foot down, cross that leg all the way over, that right leg over. Take the right palm down beside you. Take the left and draw that leg over towards the left. Let your head and torso move to the right and take a breath. And another. Just twisting out those poisons from the body. All those chemicals that are in our bodies. Lots of them, over 400, just from the stuff we breathe and the plastics and all that stuff. Inhale to center. Uncross. Bring the left leg into the chest. Extend it up. Press that sole of the foot up. Now the right knee stays up towards the ceiling. And we're just stretching the hamstring. That's all, just stretching that a little bit. And then let that fold down and take the left hand to the top of the knee. And again, makes a rotation. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't want to be uncomfortable. Just lubricating that hip socket. And then just coming around and cross that leg over the other. Open it up there so it's a nice stretch. And then bring that up and gently rock that in and out. Bring the right foot to the floor, cross the left leg all the way over. Left hand comes palm down beside you. Right draws the legs to the right. Head moves to the left. Take a breath. Another big breath. And then inhale to center. Undo your legs. Lengthen the legs. Lengthen the arms. Extending right to the webbing of the fingers and pushing the heels away, making the body longer. They say doing yoga makes you a little taller because it lengthens the spine. Exhale down. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time. And then draw the knees in and just hold behind. So just let your feet relax at first. Just bring the knees so they're like almost pointed up. Let the feet relax, point and flex them. And then make some circles with them. And again, we lubricate the ankles and the other way. And then draw the thighs towards your chest and the soles of the feet up. And again, point and flex. Wiggle the toes. Try wiggling them as much as you're able. And then just make some circles again. So we're always trying to encourage the feet to widen, because in yoga we need a nice stable base. And then bring the soles of the feet together and point the toes upwards. And if you like, use your inner elbows to open that groin area a little bit more, bringing those in. Just taking a breath here. And then bring the feet down to the floor. Once again, extend the legs, extend the arms. Reaching and then exhale down. Bring your feet up to the floor one more time. And then draw the knees into the chest and just bring the fingers behind them. And once again, draw them up towards, bring your arms in the middle in prayer like this. That's how I get my students there. And then take the outsides of the feet. And just gently rock back and forth in happy baby. And then come back again so you have your hands behind your thighs. And just gently rock on the lower back. So we're only doing a couple inches here. Right on the sacrum, right on the holy bone, that foundation of the body. So we're just staying right there for a minute. Always breathing. Got to remind people to breathe, they forget. And then come up to the lower back. So just coming up a little more, right? And then up a little further to the middle back. So we just kind of try to get the tension out of that back area. And then come up to the upper back. So we're rocking up a little further, rocking up to the upper back. And then we're going to try to bring the feet all the way up. And then all the way back if you're able, or to wherever you can come, and up and back. So if you do have a migraine headache or a headache, this done in a very gentle way, you know, spending a little more time coming up back, can be useful too. And then coming up. So come up and just lengthen your legs. Bring your hands beside you. Legs are hip distance. You're grounding down with both the thighs and the calves. And we're just going to bring the fingertips and lift and open the chest. Take a breath. Make some spaciousness in the chest area. And then reach forward and lift as you straighten the back, lift the chest. Come forward until you feel the back begin to round. Don't go any further. And then walk the hands back up. Widen the legs, so bring the legs apart. And sometimes you can move the buttocks flush too to help. This is a difficult pose for me, so I always have a hard time coming into this position. Everybody has limitations with their body. Lift, press down with the legs, and then release. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bounce the legs a little. Butterfly the legs, bounce them a little bit. And then just reach back and just lie for a minute like this. So again, this helps to open the groin area, but any thing that's quiet and restorative for you is a good position to be in with a headache. And then coming back up. So let's just cross the legs, coming to a simple Sutta position, a Sukhanasana. Now, let me say this, that many of the people who have migraines also have anxiety and depression and insomnia. Yoga can definitely help with all of those things, proven. So definitely going to be useful for that thing. Now, most of the cases of migraine occur with women. And 1 in 4 women will experience migraines during the course of their lifetime. But actually, when they're younger, boys will actually present with more migraines until adolescence. And then it turns, and there's more girls. Just interesting stuff around that. Bring the hands here. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. And once more, lifting the chest. Exhale, down. Come up. Bring the arms and just interlace the hands behind the head. And just stretch the arms to the sides, and then just let the head come forward. Allow the weight of the hands to just rest on the head. And then coming back up, extend, bring the arms down. Bring one up, lean to the side, extend to the sides of the waist. Exhale down, come up with the other arm. And over. And then coming back up. Bring the hands again to the knees and take your left hand over to your right knee, and the other arm comes behind as you move into this twist position, so the spine is nice and long and straight. Head stays basically with the chest, so you don't want to move it like way back there. Keep the neck healthy. And then come to the center, bring the right hand to the left knee, extend that spine. That shoulder just rests behind you. And then coming back to center, bring the hands together, lift them up, bring the elbows together, and then down. Interlace the hands, extend the hands forward, inhale to the chest, extend upwards, and then just coming down. Okay, let's come over. Let's come up to table position. So in table, we always sit the shoulders right over the wrists, knees sit over the hips. And we inhale, bring the flat back and the head up. We exhale, round and tuck. Inhale, head up, flat back. Exhale, round and tuck and cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back up to center, tap the feet. Invigorating the feet, lots of acupuncture points there. Then take your right foot back and stretch your toes and rock it back and forth. And then come to still and lift that right leg and that left arm. And then inhale, bring the left elbow to the right knee as you drop the head. Exhale, ha, ha. Inhale, exhale, ha. Inhale, exhale, ha. Bring that leg down and lift the left foot back and just rock the toes, opening the feet. And then come to stillness, lift the left leg, the right arm, and sunbird, press down with the top of your right foot, and then inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale, ha, ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. And then coming down. Bring the toes together, knees apart. Come to child's pose, rest the head. So some of the poses you don't want to do for headaches are boat, navasana, chair, too much. The cobra, you know, the bends when we're coming up like this, don't want to do these. So you don't want to do the cobra, you know, the cobra, the bows, you know, stuff like that. Camel, too much. So you really want to stay more with the restorative or the forward bending poses now. For instance, the forward bend this way, and you can do this also with the bolster and just forward. So any kind of restorative type situation like that is good. So let us come up, remove the blanket, and what I'd like you to do is just fold your blanket, if you have one, in half, and then in thirds. Now my blankie here is kind of small. Usually they're bigger than this. So when you have that in that position, you can just raise the toes. Again, this blanket's kind of small, but if you have something a little bigger, you're going to be able to stretch the feet. Bring the hands out to the side. Reach them away from you. Now move the shoulder blades down the back. Press the palms away. Drop the fingers. Palms. Now as we do this, we reach full extension and flexion of the hands. Again, which we don't often do. That's what causes our carpal tunnel and all that. Hands down. Now let's just try to bring the heels up on the blanket, so we're up like this. You can even try coming up on your toes if you like, bringing the hands overhead. Just letting that blanket just stretch the feet too. And then coming back. So I'd like you to bring your blocks. One goes here, and your belt, if you have one. Let's bring the feet to the sides of the block. Now, when we do this, we're aligning the body. You know, it's all about alignment with Hatha Yoga, so we're aligning the body. If you have corns or anything, this might be painful, so if it is, don't do it. Never do anything that hurts. So we do this, let's inhale, bring the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers in your unusual way. So bring the other index finger in front, stand up. Exhale down. Bring the arms by the ears. Bend in a half fold. So come forward, fold the fingertips and crown of the head, reaching forward. Take a breath. Come down, move the palms towards you. Come down into Uttanasana, forward fold. looking back through the legs. Bend and straighten the knees. And then come again to Uttanasana, looking back. And then bend the knees a little and come up. Inhale. Exhale to prayer. Again, bring your arms straight out. Rotate the wrist. And then come back and put the thumb inside the loose fist. Make some circles. Other way. Bring the index and thumb together. Make some circles. And the other way. Just working those arms a little bit and you will start to feel it. Push away. Move those shoulder blades down. Now bring the arms facing forward to a little bigger than shoulder distance. Begin to grasp at the air. So you're grasping at the air, you're involving the hands and the arms. And in this position, we bring invigoration to the arms. We also bring some energy from the heart chakra and allowing us to be more loving. And then bring it to a little wider than that. Bring the palms facing each other, 4 fingers tight together. And then bring those to the palm pads and engage the arms and the hands. So just bringing some invigoration in there. And then shake the arms down. Bring them to your, open up those shoulders and the other way. Now just take your other block. And again, thinking alignment. Bring those forward. Bring the arms forward. Tuck the tummy back. Bring that back towards the spine. Whenever we draw that belly back towards the spine and we lift the ribs, we engage that Uddiyana Bandha too. That locks energy in the body. Slowly bring it up. So focusing on that alignment and reaching up. Lengthen through the waist. Come back down. Bring that all the way down. And then bring it behind you. So we're just going to hold it kind of like by the sides, draw it down. Lift and open the chest. Take a big breath into the chest. Expanding that area. And then release that and just grab your belt. And we're just going to put it over one shoulder. So we drape it like this. And we're going to use the same hand that the shoulder, you have the belt on. I'm going to take hold of that side. I'm going to bring the other arm around the back. So we're just kind of opening up that chest. Now, for some, your hands may come together without a belt. But for many of us, it's not possible yet, or at this point, for whatever reason. Now, I have a little bit of arthritis in my shoulders and my back, about the last 6 months or so. So I continue to move because I think that's important. But it's a little stress involved in getting those hands close together. So it's an excellent opening. Again, tuck the belly back and keep an eye on your posture. And then just release that, move the belt to the other side. And bring that hand forward on the belt. The other hand comes around. Now, yeah, that's right, sorry. The other thing you'll notice is that and that's what just happened to me, one side is so distinctly different than the other. You'll be pretty amazed to see that. So just opening that up and then releasing that to the side. Inhale the arms up, exhale down. Now let's bring that block out of the way, and let's step wide. We're going to turn one foot out all the way, and the other one in a little. We move the torso towards the front of the room, but not yanking it, but over time, moving that forward. Extend through the arms, shoulders relax, and then bend that forward knee and gaze out over that front arm. Now, as you do this, the knee goes right over the ankle. Your knee is moving towards the little toe side, the back leg's long and straight. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Take a breath. Bring that front arm down, extend the arm over, extended side angle. Taking a breath. Come back up. Bring the feet to center. Come together, either walking or jumping. Inhale around the shoulders. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Let's step wide again. And turn the opposite foot out all the way and the back one in a little bit. Extend the arms. And just move back a little so that when you do, what happens is some people tend to move the torso forward. I have to watch myself. And then bend that over the knee so that the torso is perpendicular to the floor. Front thigh is parallel to the floor. Take a breath. Bring the front arm down, extend over. Keep the back leg strong. Come up. Feet to center. Come to the center. Okay, so how does yoga help with migraines and headaches? Well, it improves the blood circulation to the brain. It balances that blood flow, balances the brain, makes the blood flow better, brings stress down, we know that. It's kind of proactive, so as I said, if you feel it coming on, you can take measures to thwart that headache, to either stop it or make it less. Yeah, so there's lots of good. It also helps your balance. So everything is good. All of yoga is good for this stuff. Okay, so let's come down to the mat for a minute, and let's just bring our blocks for a second here. 1 foot between the blocks. And we're just going to lift the foot as we stretch the hamstrings. So I try to keep my back foot straight too. It wants to shift over, and then we lift the chest. And then we just, again, lift that foot up, and then again. Now, I know when I first started, I used to have to go just like this, and I said to my teacher the other day, I can finally do it without moving my blocks. So it takes some time. Now, come up on the blocks, tuck that back toe, lift it up, lift the thigh up, keep it strong. Take a breath. Drop that back knee, bring this back, the other one forward. Lift the chest, and then just let that hamstring stretch. Again, coming up, and back, and once more up, and coming back, stretching that. And then come up, tuck that back toe, come up on it. Good. And then let that come down. Come down, bring the toes together, knees apart. Rest the head on the block. And just take a few moments to rest in child's pose. Okay, let's do a little bit of down dog. So, we know we start in that table position and then we move the hands forward of the shoulders. Now, you want to make sure, again, as I pointed out in past times, we always articulate, we go over these postures again and again. We keep a beginner's mind. We make sure the index fingers are either parallel or outwards. They're not turning in because, as you can see, as soon as you do that, you're doing damage to the shoulders. We want to press into the fingers. Make sure your knuckles, I mean, this varies from person to person, as I can see in my students, but try to press down into your knuckles and your fingertips. Try to get the weight off the palm pads. You'll see where you're pressing because it'll be red when you lift up. Now tuck the toes. Keep them about the same width apart as your hands are. And those should be just about to the edge of the mat with the pinkies. Come up, lift. First, bend your knees. Keep your knees bent for a minute. Now extend and lift up. Move the back of the thighs to the walls behind you. Allow the head to hang. Take a breath in downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come into plank pose. Let the belly come down. The belly stay up, the buttocks come down. Let's try side plank. Moving to the sides of your feet, and if you can always drop the back knee for a modification. So you just reach one elbow, one arm over the other. And then just moving back to the plank and to the other side. So if you're doing this, you'll notice after a while your hip will start to sink. So keep an eye on that hip coming down. And then come back up into downward facing dog. Take a breath. Again to plank pose. Make sure your vision is in front of your mat, not straight down. And then lower the legs. And just for a moment, come back and I'll show you another pose. Excellent for the migraine type thing. Bring this right between the legs a little bit. And just resting the head. So these restorative poses, very good for the migraines and the headache. You can almost see how that would be so. Very calming. Shavasana as well, the position that we start in and end our sessions with. Corpse pose, quiet and, you know, comfortable for that type of thing. So just turn your head the other way. Make sure whatever you do on one side, you always do on the other. Even that, we always do one side and the other, so we're all balanced. Now, I would like to show you one more thing called legs up against the wall, which is excellent for this type of thing. It's just excellent in general. Now, again, I would have a fatter blanket than this generally. You can also fold your mat if you like, but the general idea is this, folks. Bring it up against the wall. You come sideways. You place your hip against the wall, as close as you can get to the wall. And then you, it's nice to have a pillow, sorry. It's nice to have a pillow behind you, although it's not necessary. But if you're starting out, you may like it. Some people do it on a bolster. I like it on the blankies. So we just swing the legs up and place them against the wall. Bring the head to the pillow. And just resting here. Now in this pose, which is called, quite simply, legs up against the wall, it's a very relaxing pose. And also, it reverses the flow of blood. So the blood is flowing against gravity. This is good. It's good for the brain. This can be good for the headaches. You can try this if you have them at home and see how this works. So there, just showing you some restorative poses that would help with your headaches, hopefully. Now, let's come back and put our blanket down and do a little bit of meditation before we have our Shavasana. You know, some people feel that because there are like 38 million people that suffer from these migraines, such a huge percent of the population, there are many who feel this is under-researched and underfunded. Let's come. You can sit on your bolster, or you can just sit on your blanket, whatever you like. We come to simple seated Sukhanasana. Bring the hands up. We'll do some alternate nostril breath because this is good for balancing the blood, the brain. We bring 2 fingers in, these 2 fingers in. This other hand can do whatever you like over here. We keep the 2 small fingers together. At first they won't want to do that, but over time they will. And then we bring that above the nose. And you can either rest it there or you can just hang it in midair. And just lower the chin just a tiny bit, not like this. Just a little bit. And put a little quiet smile on your face. And block with the thumb side. Inhale left. Block with the finger, exhale right. Inhale, thumb side. Block, exhale, finger. Hand is relaxed. Left. Block, right. Inhale, right. Block, exhale, left. Inhale, left. Block, exhale, right. Release the hands. Bring the hands up. Draw the index and the thumb together in the mudra of wisdom, the Gyan mudra. And let's do Om twice, inhaling to begin. Coming just on your back or bringing your bolster beneath your legs and a pillow beneath your head. bring the attention to the breath. Notice the rise and fall of the breath. For a moment, draw your attention to your heart, to the heart chakra, the center of your chest, and there envision a green lotus flower. And just observe from that lotus flower green light emanating, spreading throughout the body, filling us with love and compassion and kindness. Allow the body to relax. Allow your concerns to stay away. Let your feet relax in the tops of your body. Rest the back of the body, gently releasing the back. Notice the rise and the fall of your breath. And as you rest there, I'll just read you a little something. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their soul. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And now gently begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. And then softly roll to your side, just keeping that sense of tranquility as we rest here with a feeling of acceptance and love. And just keeping your nice sense of peacefulness, bring yourself to a seated position. Bring the hands to center. Push together with the thumb and the pinky and raise the hands up, opening the 3 middle fingers and bringing the lotus blossom above the crown of the head and allowing it to fill with blessings. Draw those together, the hands together, and bring them into heart center. Sitting tall, bow the busy, intellectual, intelligent mind to the more intuitive wisdom of the heart. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste. Thank you.